You just deployed a hotfix, but users still see the old broken button. Curl shows Xcache, hit from CloudFront. CloudFront is serving the cached version from 24 hours ago. The problem? You overwrote app.js with the same URL, and CloudFront ignores changes to existing keys. Here's exactly why. Welcome to TheCodeForge. Before we dig into that production issue, let's cover Amazon Web Services CloudFront Route 53. CloudFront caches content at edge locations worldwide. Route 53 directs users to the closest edge. This reduces latency from 2.5s to 400 ms. But the default TTL of 24 hours means your deploy is invisible until the cache expires or you invalidate it. Instead of overwriting the same file, use versioned file names like app, abc123.js. Each deploy creates a new URL, so CloudFront sees a cache miss and fetches the new file. Set TTL to 1 year and never invalidate. If you must invalidate, use the Amazon Web Services CLI. You can invalidate the entire distribution or specific paths. But remember, invalidation costs money and takes minutes. Route 53 offers several routing policies. Latency-based uses real-time measurements to find the fastest region. Geolocation routes based on IP. Weighted splits traffic for canary deployments. Failover requires health checks to switch on failure. Here's a failover record for Route 53. Note the evaluate target health must be true. Without it, failover never triggers. To use a custom domain, you need 3 things: and certificate manager certificate in us, East1, the domain listed in CloudFront's alternate names, and a Route 53 alias record pointing to the CloudFront distribution. The certificate region trap catches everyone. Request the certificate in us, East1, then create the distribution with the certificate Amazon resource name. Always use us East1 for CloudFront certificates. Use origin access control to ensure only CloudFront can read your simple storage service bucket. OAC supports key management service encryption. Web application firewall blocks common attacks at the edge. Signed URLs should have short expiration times. Create an OAC for your simple storage service origin. Then, update the bucket policy to allow only that CloudFront distribution. Monitor cache hit ratio in CloudWatch. Aim for over 90% for static content. If it's low, your cache key might be too specific, forwarding unique query strings or headers. Use this CLI command to check your cache hit ratio. Set alarms for ratios below 80%. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. The team overwrote the same file, but CloudFront caches by URL. Since the URL didn't change, the old cache persisted until TTL expired. The default TTL is 24 hours. The fix: add an invalidation step in the deployment pipeline for the changed paths and switch to versioned file names like app, abc123.js. Set short TTL for HTML files that reference versioned assets. This is the exact mistake from the incident. By overwriting the same file, the URL stays the same, so CloudFront continues serving the old cached version. Always use versioned file names. If evaluate target health is false, Route 53 ignores health checks. Your primary can be down, but traffic keeps going to it. Always set it to true. Certificate manager certificates for CloudFront must be in us East1. Requesting in any other region causes a cryptic error. Always use us East1. Origin Shield adds a regional caching layer that reduces origin load, but it incurs additional data transfer costs from the Shield region to the origin. For low-traffic origins, the cost may outweigh the benefit. Always estimate the impact using the Amazon Web Services pricing calculator before enabling. The article mentions latency-based routing, but doesn't show how to attach health checks to it. Here's a CloudFormation snippet that creates a latency-based alias record with an associated health check, ensuring unhealthy endpoints are excluded from routing. When debugging cache behavior or routing issues, CloudFront real-time logs, via Kinesis data streams, provide per-request details including Xcache, status, edge location, and origin latency. This is more granular than CloudWatch metrics and helps identify why a specific request missed the cache or hit a slow origin. Use curl to check if content is served from cache. Invalidate if needed. Test DNS resolution and health check status to diagnose routing issues. Let's run through some common interview questions. How does CloudFront cache invalidation work? Invalidation removes cached objects by path. Costs per path takes minutes. What is the difference between OAI and OAC? OAC supports key management service. OAI is legacy. Use OAC for new distributions. Why must Certificate Manager certs be in US East 1 for CloudFront? CloudFront's global certificate store only reads from US East 1. And a few frequently asked questions. What is the default CloudFront TTL? 24 hours. Can I use a CNAME for root domain? No, use an alias record. How do I reduce CloudFront costs? Use versioned file names, enable compression, set appropriate TTLs. To recap, use versioned file names to avoid invalidation costs. Always request Certificate Manager certificates in US East 1. Attach health checks and enable Evaluate Target Health for failover. Monitor cache hit ratio to ensure optimal performance. Ready to go deeper? Up next, Amazon Web Services CloudWatch Basics, then Amazon Web Services Bedrock Explained. Building GenAI apps without managing models, then Amazon Web Services Snowball. Data migration, edge computing, and physical data transport. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.